No one would argue against the notion that the world is changing. Theories and opinions vary greatly, but one thing is for certain. People are becoming more interested in the paranormal. Just watch the latest blockbuster, or turn on your TV. Shows about aliens, psychics, afterlife, ghosts, and ghost hunting. The list goes on and on. But most don't think of these things when they think of the Midwest. For the last 20 years, Cincinnati has been the home of the Victory of Light Festival, a psychic convention that brings in people from all around the area. Recently, I met with director and founder of the festival, Victor Paruta. Victor is a psychic medium and paranormal investigator, and among many of his achievements has been featured on Barbara Walters' The View. Excited about how the festival has grown and what it has become, Victor talked about how it all began 20 years ago.
That's a good story. Okay, this is how the festival came into being. I used to own a bookstore, the Victory Books in Mainstrasse Village. One day, a psychic came into my a store, and we started a conversation, and she got this psychic flash that I should do a psychic fair. The idea had never crossed my mind. I never even thought of doing a psychic fair. I didn't even know what a psychic fair was. But she planted the idea, and within a month, I had my first psychic fair. And that was way back in the June of 1992. So 20 years later, here we are.
As the Victory of Light Festival has grown, Victor has found new locations to accommodate the growing numbers of exhibits and visitors. This year, the festival was held in the Sharonville Convention Center. With over 200 readers, healers, and vendors, Victor explains how the festival has something for everyone.
Well, you'll get anything here at the Victory Light, anything having to do with the holistic, the paranormal, the metaphysical. Of course, we've got the psychic readers, and many of them have been with me for the entire 20 years. And then we've got healers. You can do get a healing, a Reiki session, an energy healing session. You've probably noticed that some people bring their pets to our show, even though officially they aren't supposed to. They do because they want the animal to get a reading, from one of our animal communicators. Of course, there's a lot of shopping. You'll have crystals, jewelry, a lot of art. We have pottery. We have many other things having to do with holistic health, wellness. You probably noticed the far infrared light saunas, which are very good for improving blood circulation. We've got essential oils, anything in the line of aromatherapy, herbs, oils.
As you can see, there's a lot to do at the Victory of Light Festival. And when it comes to the psychic world, I'll admit, I know very little, so I had a lot to explore and a lot to learn. My first stop was to see some of the seminars being put on. The Victory of Light Festival has over 50 seminars featuring anything from psychic profilers to musicians like Ron Esposito. Along with music, Ron Esposito is a certified life coach. Ron's latest CDs feature the singing bowls. I'd never heard of a singing bowl, so Ron was kind enough to give me a sample of his music. The following is a short video about the festival featuring the music Miles Away from his Open Heart album. With so many seminars and so many topics, I asked Victor how he chooses which ones to feature.
So I make sure that we offer a wide variety of seminars on the breadth and depth of the metaphysical universe. And this is really big. People are wanting this, and people weren't interested in this. They wouldn't be coming to this expo. There wouldn't be so many shows on TV about life after death or NDEs or ghosts or the paranormal. People like this because it gives their lives perspective. It's very easy to get caught up in the mechanical dimension of everyday life, the routines of life. Victory of Light gets you beyond that. It gets you into your spirit, into the bigger you.
As I continued walking around, exploring everything the festival offered, one thing was for certain: the people were friendly. At no time was there a shortage of people to talk to. One person I met was Jane Lester. Jane makes pottery, and more specifically, Reiki-influenced pottery. Here she explains what Reiki means and how she incorporated that into her art.
Yes, Reiki Pottery is what I do, and how I do that is I was a potter, and I had the idea from Dr. Masaru Emoto's book. He wrote a book called The Weight of Water, and he took photographs of water crystals. After somebody had put their hands around a mug of water and thought of the word love, light, he would take a photograph of the water molecule. And when somebody had put love and light into the water molecule, it was a beautiful crystal. If somebody put their hands around water and thought hate, war, ugliness, it would be like a brown mud puddle. And when I read this book, I thought, there's so much water in clay. When I'm making my pottery, what if I use, and I'd done some energy work at that time, and I thought, what if I put energy into my pottery in the same way? If I'm feeling those thoughts, could it work? Could it do the same as what he did? So from there I thought, my energy probably isn't the smartest thing for me to be putting into pottery. A, it would deplete me, and B, what if I wasn't feeling good that day, or what if I had a headache? So I looked into different healing modalities and found Reiki, where you channel divine energy. So I connect with divine spirit and bring that energy through me. I feel it coming very strongly through my hands, and at that time, that's when I start making my pottery. And I put the energy in. For the rest of the time, when I'm either trimming it or putting handles on or glazing it, I make sure I'm in a sacred space so that I always maintain that connection with the divine spirit.
Like many I talked to that day, Jane was very passionate about the festival and its cause. This became even more apparent when I asked her about the importance of events like the Victory of Light Festival.
I think that it is so often people are just not connected. And I think one of the things that is very good for our health, and it's been coming out more and more, how as we connect with others on that deeper spiritual level, it really helps us. It helps us not only to grow as people, but it keeps you healthy. You don't have that stagnant energy inside you. And I think that this kind of festival, helping people be more aware. Sometimes people don't even know about some of the things that are here. They don't see their lives as anything more than the day-to-day drudgery. They come here and they suddenly see other possibilities, and their lives become more because of it.
I like Jane's idea of people connecting and finding out more about themselves. She talked with me more about how people in the world are changing and what our role is in that change. In the past years, change is a word that is thrown around too much. Could an event like this help connect people and promote change? As I kept exploring, I met Patricia Geary, a spiritual reader, healer, and writer. When I asked her about the importance of the festival and if it could help change anything, here's what she said.
How about for changing the world? Victor has, if you think about what Victor's done, he has made this possible to change this whole region and as a part of that to begin to change the world. I mean, look at things like, we have both sides of the paradigm right now. We have the very powerful, entrenched super committee that can't talk to anybody, and we have Occupy all around the world that is opening up. It's because of events like this that open up people, allow them to see that they are more than just their brains, allow them to understand that love is all there is, and it starts with things like this. So praise heaven that Victor started this and has kept it going all these years.
Now, it would be hard to prove what Patricia said, but like many things, you can't disprove her either. As a first-time visitor to the festival, and a guy who's willing to listen to any explain their theories on life, views like Patricia's were interesting. When I first approached Patricia to talk to me, she insisted that I was not feeling well. She explained how she was a hands-on healer and she could tell I was having allergy problems. Whether it was my red eyes or genuine intuition, I can't say, but soon I found myself experiencing my first energy.
But she's not going to go.
So why are, like, even me, why are we kind of skeptical of everything like?
Exactly. Because we think that all of our energy and intelligence in our bodies in our head. It's not true. Our whole body is wildly intelligent. And in touch with the universe. Spirit, God, Goddess, all that is. We're just about done. The energy turns on and then it turns off, and it's turning off.
Well, I'll have to wait a couple weeks to see if the allergies are healed, and I really can't tell you if anything happened. But what Patricia demonstrated was her conviction and belief. Those who were at the festival really were there to help others. Most, like Sandy Wilcox, had nothing but good to say about Victor Paruta and the opportunities that the festival gave them.
I always thank Victor because for putting this on, because I think he does an excellent job. You know it's a lot of work, and yet he does it in a first-class way to bring an event that we can all come together and be here for people that need us. And amazingly, I can't tell you how many times somebody will have come up and they pick up a stone, and when I tell them what my impression of that stone is for them, they might burst into tears. And it's exactly right. And for that 1 minute, I can help that one person. And that's what's most important, is just that.
Around 5,000 people came to the two-day festival, and as Victor told me in the beginning, there were activities for people of all ages. If you wanted to have your face painted, and many did, Jennifer Pilot was there to help. Maybe you want to have a picture of your aura taken. How about a picture of your guardian angel? Though many of those who visited the Victory of Light Festival were there just to see what the whole psychic thing was about, there were those that were looking for answers. Rose van den Einden believes that we cannot discount the new things we are learning. Along with being a successful author, Rose is a well-known spiritual voice in the Cincinnati area. When I talked with her, she brought up interesting information on the future in metaphysics.
There are so many things that we don't know for sure. Science has told us a lot of things, and science is really wonderful. But there are avenues in science now that are even being opened up, things like quantum physics and those types of interest in like multiverse things. And I don't know a lot about that because I'm not a scientist, but I do know that if you look at things like quantum physics, it supports in a lot of ways what we believe as metaphysicians. And so I think that science is going to start discovering things that we already believe in, and they're going to have scientific basis for that. So then people won't feel like they're crazy or weird if they do believe in some of these things that we promote in a fair like this. Things like the ability to make choices based on the energy around us, and the ability to make positive choices in our lives and not be sort of trapped in a negative energy all the time. So hopefully people would come out and discover something about themselves and maybe be able to apply that to make their lives better in some way.
Looking towards the future, everyone I talked with believed the festival would keep growing and continue being an important platform for helping others. 2012 will mark the 20th anniversary for the festival. So I asked Victor what he saw in the future and what he thinks about it landing on what some see as a significant year.
Really interesting is, you're right, 2012, coincidentally, is our 20th anniversary. And way back in 1992, I never thought 2012, the end of the Mayan calendar, this interesting year, would end up being our 20-year anniversary. So I think that that's one of those fun coincidences that probably have some sort of meaning, on the spiritual planes. But what we're bringing in is more famous presenters for our 20-year anniversary. Internationally known authors, presenters that have been on television who have a following. And so we're expanding the show in that way. We're bringing we've already got an outstanding caliber of presenters, but we're bringing in an even more nationally known, everyday names that you've heard of. So I'm excited about that. And of course the show itself will continue to expand. The convention center here has doubled in size. We're currently in half of it while the original building is under construction, under renovation. Hopefully, I think my plans are for the Victory of Light Expo to double in size and to take up the entire convention center. So I think that would be really cool. And we're also promoting Victory of Light not simply as a regional event, but as a national event. So we're going to start, doing more national level promotions to promote this expo. And so I think this is probably going to one day put Cincinnati on the national map as far as holistic, paranormal, and metaphysical events of a international, perhaps, dimension. So yeah, I'm hoping for that.
This is Logan Moeller with Newscast 24.